Welcome into the locker room. Coming up on tonight's show, Messi saves the day again. The Champions League quarter-finals are upon us, and we'll predict and preview Juventus against Real Madrid and the rest of the action as well. And we'll ask, have Napoli blown it? The panel will be giving their thoughts on that one. A panel that includes two Italians today, so we're expecting lots of gesticulating from Christian Vieri and Matteo Bonetti. But let's get started.
And what about the two English?
Oh, you guys are always here.
What about Michigan against Villanova tonight? No mention about Michigan against
No,
Villanova.
you said you want to talk about your tie.
Well, Newcastle United finally secured, well, we hope, secured our EPL status under the great Spanish man Benitez.
Well done. Congratulations. The revolution.
There's still time, though.
All right, let's talk about Sevilla's game against Barcelona, because Sevilla were almost decided to bring an end to Barcelona's unbeaten run in La Liga this season. But that was until Lionel Messi came off the bench and changed the game. Now, Messi was said to have been given two instructions before being subbed in against Sevilla. That was to avoid long sprints and to avoid sudden changes of pace. Despite him not being 100%, he was still a game changer.
They give him instructions?
Yeah.
Well, he's not fully fit.
So what, like he says to him, okay, like he says, yeah, okay, I'm not going to...
Right, I hear you.
It was to preserve his fitness, though. He's not fully fit, and they still had to call upon him in this game.
If you've got a muscle problem, you cannot play even those 10 minutes and not run and not do anything, because then you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So if he plays, that means I think that he's okay, his muscle's okay.
Right.
Because if you have even a little muscle problem, you're going to tear your muscle.
Question is, why play him or Iniesta in a match where you don't have to win? You've won the league. I was surprised that both teams were at full strength.
Their undefeated streak, maybe, Gary? I mean, it was 2-0. It could have been 5-0 for Sevilla. They deserved this win. So let's just recap the last week for Messi. 60 minutes without him, they're losing 2-0. 30 minutes, 2-2. Argentina without him lose 6-1 to Spain. Messi owns wherever he plays. He owns La Liga. You cannot stop him, even if he's not moving. That goal was proof, evident.
But why risk him then, Matteo? Why risk him?
He's fine.
I don't think he was risky. It wasn't a risk.
We just said no. He was told that he mustn't sprint. He mustn't do this.
I don't know if is that true what they said to him?
It looks as though that was the case, because they did know that the reason for putting him on the bench is because that game's coming up in the Champions League, but also because he is not 100% fit right now.
I don't think that was a good thing to do then, to bring him if he's not fit.
I tell you what I think. I think you're all nutcases. I think you're all way out of step. This was one of the most wonderful games of football, and Messi played his part in it. I give full credit to Sevilla. This was like a vitamin B shot of a football game for me. One of those things that just makes you fall in love with the game again. I mean, the response was brilliant, but Jesus Navas had a brilliant opportunity to put this game away. Muriel, another one. They shoulda, coulda, woulda. But then the magic man comes in, the medicine man. And psychologically, what that does to the team, there was one great instance where the ball came to Messi, and one of his very early touches, and it was three Sevilla players just went to him like this, and that's when the game started to swing around. But no, Sevilla were brilliant.
I know you're not a stats guy, but listen to this. Messi scored 20 times in the last 10 minutes when Barcelona were either losing or drawing this season.
Right.
20 games that he's decided that he's either giving them a point or 3 points. When it matters most, he comes up, they put him in, the game changed. Sevilla were so good, though. What a Jekyll and Hyde. I've never seen such a Jekyll and Hyde team in my life.
Look at some of the chances Sevilla are creating here. We keep on going with them. Chance after chance, which maybe when you look back, if you're a Sevilla player or fan, you think, hang on a sec, guys, are we just unlucky?
Or are we just missing a clinical big number 9 on top, maybe?
They should have buried Barcelona, in fairness.
You guys want to win games against big teams? The chances you have, you gotta score goals, because they're never dead. They're always gonna come back. They're always gonna have their chances. So if you have a chance and you score 2, you're not gonna win the game.
The biggest change, the biggest thing is Ben Yedder and Muriel against Luis Suarez and Messi. That's what it boiled down to. Those 8 chances that Muriel had, Messi would have put away, 7 of them? And the game would have been over?
I think Suarez does absolutely brilliant here.
What about the near post header as well, Ray?
Yeah, a little bit.
There.
Absolutely nice flick on. Takes a little bit of a fortunate ricochet right, but the adjustment for Suarez was brilliant. And then this, absolutely wonderful. Coutinho was the man that started it, taking it all into account. Lovely little ball played back to him, and then this dummy over the top. He has Messi coming. And I'll tell you one thing, the goal is absolutely outrageously magnificent. But how many times do we see Messi scoring from these types of goals?
And he's always going to put it there, on that end there.
Outside the box, though, that's the thing.
And the keeper? The keeper, eh? You don't think the keeper?
But do the goalkeepers, do they look at the videos? Do they
no, they do. I thought that was a possible save there.
9 out of 10, when he's around the box, he's going to put on the second post.
Yeah.
Why?
But he's got his hand there as well, which, I mean, once you get your hand there... But,
so is Messi-Dependence such a bad thing? Does it matter that you rely on your best player?
No, if you're relying on a player like that, it's because he's a great player. So if you're dependent on Messi or Ronaldo or Lewandowski or Griezmann, it's because they're great. Give me any player like that and I'll be dependent on them.
All teams have these big players that win their games.
Yeah,
that's why they make 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 million a year.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another one that was big in the Messi-Dependence, or whatever you want to call it, is, what is it?
Messi-Dependence.
Messi-Dependence,
Messi-Dependent.
All right, so the Messi-Dependent sounds like a baby's underwear thing.
What underwear are you wearing?
You know, the little
Stick to the topic, right?
All right, no, I was going to say, but the missing of Busquets, that one has been totally forgot. But for me, he has an influence on the entire shape of that team that is Busquets. Absolutely.
To not make it so frantic. Now, next up for Barcelona, it's Roma, and Radja Nainggolan has been called up to the Roma squad to face them despite being subbed due to injury in his side's 1-1 draw with Bologna at the weekend. His coach, Di Francesco, even said these kind of injuries aren't good, but he is a ninja, so we never know what we're going to get from him. But just what does he give to this Roma side?
He's a player that no other one on Roma has his characteristics. And we saw with Sevilla, Ray, that the way they pressed, they took the game to Barcelona. They actually dominated for Barcelona for large swaths. Yeah. With Roma, the other two midfielders don't move. De Rossi, Strootman, they're not mobile midfielders. Nainggolan, you can put him anywhere as an attacking midfielder, as a holding midfielder, and he'll press. He wins back balls that lead to the short field and give Roma so many chances. He's so much more than his stats. Even if he's not scoring, they're saying he's not in his best form. It's because he's not scoring, but he does so much else with his constant pressure. He's like a buzzsaw of energy in the midfield. He has soft feet. He used both feet. I think he's a massive loss, even now that he's apparently in a down moment.
And yet, even with him, if he does play Nainggolan at Barcelona, I don't think this Roma side's good enough to give him a problem. If they can beat Juve 3-0 there, I don't think Roma's going to have much of a chance.
For them to beat Barcelona, they need that cyclone. They need Nainggolan.
But even if he's there, I still don't think they can beat Barcelona there.
They'd make it a lot more interesting.
Seriously, Christian, you and me are going.
No, but will they have taken a look at what Sevilla did?
He's the best player in the midfield. So if you're losing your best player, of course it's going to be.
What I'm saying is, they've still got no chance of
beating
Barcelona.
You don't know that. Look at Sevilla, though, Gary. Look at what Sevilla did with Barcelona.
At home? Sevilla at home,
they always have this excuse, though, but look at the way they played.
It's a league game.
I understand,
they're 27 points ahead.
I understand.
The Champions League is 110,000 people. That's what they want.
To take Nainggolan, which is the question, how much of an effect is that going to have? I think Matteo is dead down right.
The problem
is going to be a big miss.
Also, the biggest problem, no Mohamed Salah means this team doesn't have that extra gear like they had last year.
Okay, so with that in mind, what's your prediction for this game?
Oh, it's going to be Barcelona. Easy. Not even close.
Gary?
Yeah, 2-3 goals to Barcelona.
2-3 goals. Christian Vieri.
This year, Barcelona scored at home 2, 3, 4, 5 goals against anyone.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing.
Right.
I'll take Roma. I'll take Barcelona.
You've taken Barcelona as well. Sorry, Roma. Okay, maybe you can surprise us. Elsewhere, beIN warmed up for their Champions League clash with Sevilla by thrashing Borussia Dortmund. Will they have such an easy time against Sevilla, though, Ray?
Probably, if they play anything like that. But this Sevilla team has shown against the big teams, against the likes of the Man United and Barcelona, they can rise to the occasion and give a lot of problems to any team. That is, we've seen it with our own eyes. Have they got enough to knock off this beIN team? They were absolutely spectacular.
But you've gone for Sevilla.
Weekend. I'm still going for Sevilla, but that's against all the odds.
Vieri.
beIN.
Everybody's
There's no way. There's no way.
Bayern is going to attack something that
Sevilla.
United didn't do in their pathetic two-legged display against Sevilla. Bayern's actually going to play them the way you should play them. That doesn't defend, you attack them.
They weren't that good. They were worse than
Gary.
I think I went for the draw. Let me just double check here, because Sevilla at home against Barcelona were brilliant. I did, yeah. For 85 minutes, Sevilla were fantastic, and against United they were. So I think at home, they're good enough to get a draw. But that's about as far as it's going to go
As
for
if
Sevilla.
Gary needed to check if he went for a draw. I went for a draw as well, I think.
No, okay.
I did in this one. I got to give some support to the Liga teams. Yeah.
No, you went for
crowd as
Sevilla.
well.
I went for more than a draw. I went for
This
Sevilla
crowd
like you.
as well are going to be absolutely on fire. And Sevillistas.
Okay.
Bitty.
New segment where we give you each 30 seconds to talk about one of the topics of the weekend. This week it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic debuting for LA Galaxy in stunning style. An appearance that was more than Hollywood worthy in the first ever El Tráfico. So, Christian Vieri, can we start the clock, please? You have 30 seconds to tell us just how special Zlatan is.
Guys, what do you want me to say? He's won everywhere he's gone. He scored in all the competitions. He gives assists to all his teammates. He played 20 minutes. He scored a 35, 40-meter goal. Fantastic. He's going to do movies soon. We're going to see him some Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rambo, something movies. It's phenomenal. I think it's amazing for the MLS league. And how many? 8 seconds ago. And they need to buy MLS teams strikers, not midfielders that are boring or defenders. Strikers.
Ray, is he going to be a success? 30 seconds on the clock, please, for Ray Hudson. I don't think it will be quite. Hang on, Ray. We're going to give you some time because we know you need every second to say what you want to say about Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Stupendously magnificent. One of the greatest footballers I have ever seen in my life. Like Bobo says, he's won everything. He's decorated the game. Every time he comes in, it's always starburst, but it's an art of slow as well. His beautiful, magical touch. He does it his way, the Ibra way. I've said before many times, I would crawl on broken glass to just smell the exhaust fumes coming out of his car. I would pay big money to watch that and hang his underwear out on the laundry line.
All right, we're going to go to Matteo Bonetti, who I also know is a big Zlatan Ibrahimovic fan. Is he going to be a success in MLS?
By the way, if you want to smell Zlatan, he has his own signature perfume that you can buy. You've got, so you can smell like Zlatan.
Your time's counting.
He is the most unique player I've ever seen. 6'5", but plays like someone who's as tall as Messi. I've never seen a player with his characteristics. I remember him at Juventus, in La Liga. Wherever he's gone, he's scored goals, and he's scored them in record numbers. He'll score the same amount in MLS. It doesn't matter where you put him, and he can play standing still. Doesn't matter. Age doesn't affect him either.
Oh, you managed to do it with 4 seconds to spare. Just like Man City might win the league with 5 games to spare.
Okay, don't get nasty. I got enough from him
With
the
that,
other
it's
time.
time for Gary Bailey to talk about Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
I reckon he's going to be the greatest signing MLS has ever made, bigger even than Beckham. And he knows it. He's a Hollywood star. He's going to score more goals than Beckham. Why are you leaving? He'll score a lot more goals than Beckham. In fact,
he did 3 crosses. 3 crosses in 4 years.
Beckham. Yeah, but he's considered the best in MLS. So I'm saying he's going to be better. If you look at him, I watched him in training 6 months ago. Zlatan, he's still good enough to lead the line for United or most of the top teams in the world. He is going to be a superstar in America. No question about it.
I guess we all love you, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Still to come here on The Locker Room, we talk Juventus against Madrid. We ask if Napoli's title challenge is over, and we bring you our top goals. And I mean top. Stick around. Welcome back to The Locker Room. It's time for What Were You Thinking, which this week takes us to the lower leagues in England, and we'll call upon the Goalkeepers Union too, Gary Bailey, so be ready for this one. This one was put in by Ray Hudson to kick things off tonight. One of the weirdest goals you're going to see.
This is the reason why you should never turn your back on the goal. Look, this looks like it's going in. Now, don't look at the ball. Look at that guy right there. And watch what happens. The ball is stuck. It's not over the line yet. And that guy, that Dillard, that Stone, that caveman, he turns his back away. He has a better look at it. The ball gets knocked on. There's a bit of a count, and then it stops. But look at him. Look at him. He just freezes like Lot's wife. You idiot.
And
keep on going.
He doesn't even know afterwards. He doesn't look around and realize.
Say it, Ray. Say it.
The players, what were you thinking, you moron?
Jesus, what's he doing?
Never assume, because it makes an ass out of you and me. Now, this is a goalkeeper in Ethiopia turning the ball into his own net and then trying to style it out like it didn't happen. Watch this. He tries to throw it out, he throws it into his own net, and then he just acts like it didn't happen and tries to style that one out. Gary Bale.
I'm sure this isn't Gary Bale.
I've never seen anyone throw it in. I mean, that is horrendous.
But did they give him the goal?
But where's he throwing it to? Is it somebody out wide?
No, he's changed his mind. He tries to pull it back in.
We've got to thank one of our viewers of the locker room who actually sent that one in.
I've got to ask
for
if there was any cash passing hands at half-time, because...
You know what they call that in Ethiopia? The Gary Bailey.
Yeah.
All right. No, they don't. Now, Real Madrid were heavily rotated for the visit to Las Palmas because they had one eye on the Juventus game. But Bale had quite the performance. Gareth Bale. Was it enough to convince Zizou to start him on Tuesday, though?
he's still going about the goalkeeper. I'm telling you, there's cash involved there somewhere.
So, all right, Bale. Gareth, we commentated that game, and that was the best performance I've seen from Bale this season. He played in Ronaldo's position. It said 4-4-2, that him and Benzema, but he was playing in his old Tottenham position, up and down the left flank. The crosses he was putting in for Big Benz were tremendous. He wouldn't have this sort of free roll. He was popping up on the right, cutting on his left, going down that side where Ronaldo normally is. With Ronaldo there, he does not get to play this way. He was absolutely brilliant. Great to see from Bale.
Good ball from Modric, mind you. Fantastic.
Yeah, when those three are feet up front, they're unstoppable.
But does he start then?
Because this is the thing. They say that in the Spanish press this morning, they say he has 10 out-and-out starters in his mind, but it leaves one space, and there's 4 players that could all go into that space. Isco, Asensio, Vasquez and Bale. Who are you going to go for?
He's going to put Isco or Asensio or Vasquez.
Not
like
Bale.
he did against PSG.
If he's fully fit, though.
I would say Isco. If he was playing at home, and maybe in the second leg he might play Bale.
He was captain Madrid.
Why does he use Isco now in such an important game when we haven't seen him do that so much this season?
I don't think it's just because of the statement he made in the Spanish shirt. I think they could use Isco in terms of possession against Juve, and I think he'll be the fit. Because, believe it or not, Isco does a lot of defending when he's got the ball. I mean, that's how they play, and I think he's so responsible. He's such a great outlet. And I think that'll benefit Real Madrid.
But like playing 4-4-2 basically.
Right.
But you've always got Bale on the bench, so if you're suddenly 2-0 down and you need to get the away goal, and you might very well see him in the sort of 60th minute come on
or
and try and catch on the
Gary,
counter.
Because they'll hit them.
Yes,
Juve will hit the
counter.
commit on the counter attack with the great Welsh breathing dragon, the samurai.
You can see Juve pushing up even when they were losing to Tottenham. They still stayed with 15 players in their own half defending. They're not going to give Bale or anyone any space to run at them. That's what Allegri has shown this season against big teams. Catenaccio.
If they have to chase the game, if they have to chase the game, they'll chuck Bale on and say, because his pace will scare Juve defence. They will not want to come up against him.
So what do you think, Gary Bailey?
In terms of a
who's
result,
going to win this first leg?
I think I went for the draw. Surprisingly enough, did I? Let's have a look.
I think you went for Juve.
Oh, hang on a sec. I went Juventus.
It's been a busy day for us all. We keep forgetting who we went for. Why did you go for Juve?
Because I think Juve defensively are very strong and Real Madrid are not. They've got the 5th best defence in La Liga, not the 2nd or 3rd. So I think they could concede, in which case maybe a 2-1 win for Juve.
Christian Vieri, it's your friend Zidane against the team you love. Who are you going for?
You're going for the draw now, so pick on him.
Can't believe that from you, Christian. Ray Hudson.
I'm going to go for Real Madrid, I think.
You said Juventus.
Are you going for Juve? All right,
but I just found out Higuain's playing, so can I change my mind?
No.
Let's go, Ray.
He's not wearing the Argentina
Let's go to the beach.
All right, I'll take Real Madrid.
Oh, he's changed.
Juve, I mean.
Juve. Matteo.
I'm going to take Juventus as well. They're not going to deserve it. Real Madrid are going to play the better football, but they'll get that set-piece goal. They'll get Higuain score to shush all of you guys up. He's wearing the Juve kit, not the Argentina.
And he's against his old club. I went for a draw, and I'm actually upset now that I didn't go for Real Madrid because I didn't realise most of you were going to go for Juve.
See, I think we should do these flipping live and let the producers put what they want under our names, because I changed my mind. I think Real Madrid will do them.
So this is a massive game, as is Liverpool against Manchester City. City. Cannot wait to see what happens in this game. Meetings between the two have been so interesting this season. So, Ray, who have you got? Anfield, first leg.
I've definitely got Liverpool in this one. I think they were wonderful against Manchester City, at Anfield the last time. The scoreline was flattering. They were winning 4-1 late in the game, and Liverpool played them off the park. Liverpool were magic that night. And at Anfield, I think they'll come alive again against one of the best teams in world football right now, in City.
I'm going to put $20 on Liverpool winning 2-0.
Ooh, you're going to keep Manchester City out?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Matteo.
I'm going to go with City winning 4-3. It's going to be the most wide-open game. It's going to remind us of City-Monaco from several years ago. I think this is going to be one of the most entertaining games that we'll have all year.
Gary.
Agree with them. It's going to be very, very entertaining because they're both attacking teams. I've gone with Liverpool at home just. I don't think it'll be enough to see them through over 2 legs, but at home, they're a very good side. Mo Salah is superb.
But quarterfinals, you don't attack like that, like you do in the league. It's too, you don't attack. You don't just go, let's go attack.
I think
Champions League quarterfinals is different.
I think I went for Liverpool. I did go for Liverpool.
And no Pjanic, right?
No Pjanic. So no free kick penalties.
It's going to be a big
game that we're talking about, what you always say. Anyway, let's talk about Napoli when we return here on The Locker Room. Is the Serie A title race over? We discuss when we come back. Napoli dropped points at the weekend and Juve won their game. So are Napoli now out of the title race? Have they blown it, Gary Bailey?
You can't say they've blown it. I mean, Juve can still slip up, but they're going to have to go to Juventus and beat Juventus.
Yes or no?
Are you
have
saying
is it?
No, they haven't blown it.
They haven't blown it.
Still too many games
They've blown it, and if they don't win it this year, they won't win it for decades and decades to come. They'll lose the big players like they have been the last 5 years. It's over.
Christian, what Matteo said?
Yes.
Still the best team in Italian football, Napoli.
Right.
And this is what they're going to do to this Juve team.
What's that? Just jump up and down.
That's it, man. Look at that.
Jump up and down.
They're going to run away from you.
Even if they do that, they're still -1.
They're going to jump over them to get into their first place in the Serie A standards. Top goals now, and it's an ex-Serie A player who kicks things off tonight, Matteo Bonetti.
It's Juraj Kucka. This comes from the Turkish league with love. Look at this. No one's watching. Kucka sees the goalkeeper off of his line. Cool as he like, underside of the bar. Incredible for the ex-Milan midfielder.
Brilliant, brilliant. Mind you, the striker who turns his back on him should have his butt kicked for that. But the keeper, I tell you, this beats the keeper by just going under the crossbar.
That's Muslera as well, Uruguayan international.
All right, Ray. Clément Grenier.
Clément Grenier. You've got to say it the right way, my French. Absolutely wonderful. Curl this in, paints it like a Surad dot. Absolutely perfect free kick, and he's celebrating before the ball goes
3
in.
years with
Magic.
injuries.
Big
Deserves.
Clement.
Gary Bailey.
Anderson Talisca. Look at this left foot shot. Watch it from behind, Ben.
Wow.
That's a great strike with the left foot. Lots of power behind that.
Christian. Lucas Leiva.
It took me the whole weekend to choose his goal. At the end, I chose his Leiva. Fantastic.
He was really sweating over which one to pick.
Really
he almost
nervous.
picked this one from
So
Alex
nervous.
Granell. Another left-footed curler that we saw this weekend for Girona, one of the standout sides in La Liga this season on their first stint in the top flight. Magisterial Monday continues with Monday Night Soccer. Stick around after the locker room to give George and Gary a chance to tell you all about Turkish football with extended highlights and the weekend games and all the key moments too. Football Crazy podcast was recorded today with myself, Kevin Egan and Des Norris. You can find your nearest
Chuck Norris.
podcast provider and download the podcast. It's fun and it's almost as crazy as this show with Ray Hudson on it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on The Locker Room. We'll see you on Friday to look back at all the Champions League. See you next time. Chuck Norris.
Oh.